You've probably seen the latest buzz about the Dallas Cowboys being named as a possible trade destination for the Buffalo Bills' disgruntled superstar running back. If you're like me, this kind of rumor immediately gets your attention, especially when it involves a player who could potentially change the way the Cowboys' offense looks next season. So let's break down why the Cowboys are suddenly in the mix and what this could mean for the team. First off, the Bills' running back situation has been heating up. Reports have come out that he's unhappy in Buffalo, frustrated with his role, and maybe even with the team's direction. That kind of tension usually leads to trade rumors flying around, and teams like the Cowboys, who are always looking to improve, become natural landing spots. Dallas has the cap space, the talent, and the motivation to add impact players, so it makes sense that his name is being linked here. But what's interesting is how this rumor fits into what the Cowboys are trying to build. We all know Tony Pollard is a dynamic playmaker, but adding a proven star could take the offense to a new level. The Cowboys' front office has shown they're not afraid to make bold moves, and bringing in a top-tier running back would certainly shake things up. Before we dive deeper into what this player could bring to Dallas and what it might cost to get him, I want to hear from you. Have you been following these rumors? What do you think about the Cowboys as a trade destination for this Bills RB? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with all the latest Cowboys trade talk and team updates, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, are you ready to find out what kind of impact this running back could have on Dallas? Let's get into it. Let's talk about what this Bills running back would actually bring to the Cowboys if a trade happened. You already know he's a proven talent, but how would his skills fit into Dallas's offense and change the way they run the ball? First, this guy is a dynamic runner who can break tackles and make defenders miss in the open field. His speed and vision are real assets that can create big plays out of nothing. When you watch his highlights, you see a back who's not just a power runner, but also capable of stretching the field on outside runs and catching passes out of the backfield. That versatility is exactly what the Cowboys' offense could use, especially considering how much they rely on a balanced attack. Now, we can't forget Tony Pollard, who's been a star in his own right. He's explosive, great in space, and has shown the ability to take over games. So how does this new player fit in? Would he replace Pollard or complement him? The answer is probably the latter. Having two strong, versatile backs opens up the playbook and forces defenses to prepare for multiple threats. That's a nightmare for any defense and a huge advantage for Dallas. Plus, the Cowboys' offensive line is one of the best in the league, which means this running back wouldn't just be talented, he'd have the blocking to really shine. The combination of a top-tier RB with that line could elevate the run game to a whole new level, keeping defenses honest and opening up the passing game for Dak Prescott and the receivers. I want to know what you think. Would adding this running back immediately improve the Cowboys' offense? Drop a yes or no in the comments, and tell me why. And if you're into breaking down player fit and team strategy, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next video where we'll talk about what it might cost Dallas to make this trade happen. All right, let's move on and see what the price tag looks like and if the Cowboys can realistically pull this off. Now that we've talked about what this Bills running back could bring to Dallas, let's get into the tough question. What would it cost the Cowboys to make this trade happen? Because as exciting as adding a star player sounds, the price tag could be steep, and that's something every fan needs to understand. First off, the Bills aren't going to just give up a top running back for a low price. We're likely talking about multiple draft picks, maybe even a first-rounder, plus some players to sweeten the deal. The Cowboys have some draft capital, but trading away early picks can affect their ability to build depth and find young talent, which they've done really well in recent years. So it's a balancing act between going all in now or maintaining long-term roster health. On top of that, there's the salary cap situation. This Bills RB commands a significant contract, and Dallas would have to make room to fit him in without compromising other key players. That might mean releasing some veterans or restructuring contracts. The front office will have to crunch numbers carefully, but we know they're willing to be aggressive when the time is right. It's also important to consider the Bills' side here. They want a fair return, obviously, and if they feel the Cowboys aren't offering enough, this trade won't happen. So while the Cowboys are named as a potential destination, it's far from a done deal. Realistically, it's a high-risk, high-reward move that could pay off big or backfire if not managed correctly. Now, I want to ask you, would you be willing to see the Cowboys trade a first-round pick for this running back? Let me know with a yes or no in the comments and tell me why. Your opinions really help keep this conversation going. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can stay in the loop with all the latest Cowboys trade rumors and roster news. Up next, we'll look at how this trade, if it happens, could shake up the Cowboys roster and what it means for the team's chances this season. So, what would adding this Bills running back mean for the Cowboys roster and their season outlook? This is where things get really interesting, because bringing in a player like this could shift the whole dynamic of Dallas's offense and even affect other players on the team. First, if the trade happens, it's likely this RB would step right into a starting role. That means Tony Pollard might see his touches reduced or his role adjusted. Pollard has been fantastic, but having a true superstar in the backfield might change the way the coaches distribute the workload. Some fans might worry about that, but others will see it as building a deeper, more dangerous offense. Beyond the backfield, this addition could open up new play-calling opportunities. Defenses would have to account for multiple running threats, which helps the passing game. Dak Prescott and the receivers could find more room to operate because defenses wouldn't be able to stack the box as easily. On the flip side, you have to wonder about chemistry and team balance. Would this disrupt the current flow, or could it push the whole offense to a higher level? It's a question only time would answer, but the potential for a serious boost is definitely there. From a broader perspective, this move could send a message that Dallas is serious about making a deep playoff run. Adding a star mid-season or before the season starts is a bold statement that the team is committed to winning now. I want to hear from you. Do you think adding this running back would get the Cowboys closer to a Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Also, tell me how you'd use him in the offense if you were calling the plays. And before we move to our final thoughts, make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is turned on so you never miss any updates on the Cowboys season and roster moves. Next, we'll wrap things up with a look at fan reactions and what all this trade talk really means for the Cowboys moving forward. All right. Let's wrap this up by talking about how Cowboys fans are reacting to this trade rumor and what it really means moving forward. Whenever a big name gets linked to Dallas, you know the fan base lights up with excitement, but also a good dose of skepticism. On social media, you'll find plenty of opinions. Some fans are all in, believing that adding this running back could be the final piece Dallas needs to push deep into the playoffs. They're imagining a revamped offense with fresh energy and explosiveness. On the flip side, there are fans who worry about the cost, wondering if the draft, picks, and cap space might be better used elsewhere, or if this move could disrupt team chemistry. Both sides make good points, which is what makes these rumors so fun to follow. It's also worth noting that the Cowboys' front office has shown they're willing to shake things up. If the opportunity is right, they won't hesitate to pull the trigger. That means these rumors aren't just idle chatter. They could signal real movement. For you, the fan, staying informed is key. The NFL is always changing, and teams that adapt quickly tend to have the edge. So, keeping an eye on trade rumors and roster changes gives you a front-row seat to the action. I want to leave you with a question. Do you think the Cowboys will make a move like this before the season starts? Or do you think they'll stick with the current roster and build through the draft and free agency? Let me know in the comments below. And before you go, if you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're aiming for 14,000 subscribers, and every new fan helps us keep bringing you the latest Cowboys news and analysis. Thanks for hanging out and chatting about this big trade rumor. I'll catch you in the next video where we'll keep tracking all the Dallas Cowboys news you care about.